Good afternoon. My name is Roshan Mohan. I'm one of the project development directors at Engine. My colleague and Arthur and I now have the pleasure of explaining how to go about preparing a winning application. The application is made up of 8 questions and 4 appendices. You can find these questions and response guidance on the challenge guide for this AI for manufacturing challenge on the Engine website. As I mentioned, there are 4 appendices that you need to complete and upload to the Engine hockey stick portal as part of the application process. The first one is an intellectual property plan. You will learn more about how to prepare a good IP plan from my colleague Jonathan later today. The second item you have to upload is a project plan, which is nothing more than a Gantt chart showing the work breakdown structure, resource allocation, milestones, timelines, and dependencies. The third document you need to upload is a risk register, which will show the key risks, likelihood, potential impact, and your risk mitigation strategies. Arthur will be explaining both of these in more detail when in his section of the presentation. And finally, the fourth document that you have to upload is the financial workbook for each partner. And again, you'll hear more about this when my colleague Jeff will be speaking later today. You will find on our website templates for the intellectual property plan and the financial workbook. However, there is no template for the project plan and the risk register. This is an opportunity to showcase the project management tools that are used by your company and your partners. So now let's look at each one of those 8 questions in more detail. First of all, there's a word limit for each question. Maximum is 900 words. It's important to keep in mind that any information over 900 words wouldn't be considered for this application. Also, we do not allow any external links. We recommend using charts and graphs as they don't count to the 900 word count. Please remember that text-heavy tables will also be considered towards the word count. Also note that you can answer the question directly within the hockey stick portal, or you can upload it as a Word or PDF document using the template provided on the Engine website. Second thing here to note here is that the PD team here, the project development team here made up of a few of us at Engine are acting as a coach and to help you find partners and also acting as a resource when you prepare the application. We will provide written feedback once you submit the initial application for Engine review. The actual assessment is done by a panel of independent assessors. Apart from giving marks to the questions in the application, they will answer 2 yes or no gateway questions. The first one is the project in scope for funding the challenge? Second, is the project recommended for funding based on the overall application? Okay, now let's take a look at the first question. Here, you're going to showcase the overall project opportunity and the transformative impacts. This is an opportunity to tell the assessors what you are trying to accomplish and what it means for the project partners. Use this section to set the stage for why this project is a really good idea and how it will benefit Canada from an AI perspective and advanced manufacturing perspective. When you reply to question 3 later, you can then go into more detail about the enduring aspects of the project. We recommend doing this together as a team, including all project partners. This question is also linked to whether your project is in scope for funding. So building that shared vision and then articulating the benefits from each partner's perspective is very important. The biggest mistake companies make while making this application is that they do not focus the answer to the question on what is transformative in terms of AI for manufacturing. You may have a very exciting product. However, the marks for this question are directly linked to what is transformative in AI for manufacturing. So make sure you are showing how the project enables the commercialization of AI solution and promotes smart manufacturing in Canada. It's important to link the project to the type of project Stephanie mentioned earlier. For example, systems optimization. And what is it in there? Is it predictive maintenance, quality control, optimizing productivity? Maybe there's some robotics component there. This could be a cybersecurity layer. And maybe there's rapid prototyping of materials. Whatever be it, make sure you're explaining that thoroughly in this section. Please make sure you're talking about the transformative impact for both the manufacturer and the AI solution provider. For the manufacturer, there are different ways you can show that business performance is being improved. It could be productivity improvement, reduction of costs or risks, or it could be delivering new value-added products and services. Could be leading to technological and business advantages that are allowing the manufacturer to compete in a global level. And it might be also leveraging or advancing the manufacturer's cybersecurity initiatives. Whereas for the AI machine learning solution provider, could be even showing that it's an enabling platform or there are new revenue streams, or it's helping address scale up in manufacturing in Canada and beyond by showing this AI solution does work. And could be also that the AI ML solution developed and adopted this project could enhance Canada's position as a hub for AI machine learning solutions in the manufacturing sector. And also, like for the manufacturer, it could be leveraging or advancing the AI machine learning company's cybersecurity initiatives. So let's get in there and showcase the transformative impacts that are happening as a result of this project. So the second question is an opportunity to show what economic benefits the project is expected to deliver to those inside and outside the consortium and over what timescale. This is the start of your business case. So we want to understand what the potential impact could be. Do this for each of your partners. With the shared risk and shared financial input, there should be an economic impact for all partners involved in the project. Show the direct and indirect benefits. Use the industry multiplier uh, for showing the impact indirectly across the supply chain. Suggest using a table to show the economic impact in the short, medium, and long term. You can also strengthen the business case by articulating some of the indirect economic benefits. As always, don't forget to build the business case for each of your partners. From the AI solution partner's perspective, show how the solution can be implemented maybe in multiple manufacturing facilities or across multiple manufacturers. Some ways for the manufacturer to show the economic value could be by showing efficiency gain, reduced downtime, reduced manufacturing footprint, positive environmental benefits, reduced material usage, higher quality output, reduced scrap and warranty. Just remember that this is not an exhaustive list, but there are some suggestions to get you thinking. Apart from highlighting the number of jobs, it will be also useful to highlight the types of jobs each partners will create. See if you can highlight any commercial opportunities for other manufacturers or industry sectors arising from using the AI solutions and use cases you may be developing for this project. Also, see if there are any commercial or spin-off opportunities in Canada and beyond. Now, moving on to question 3. So this question helps you answer one of Engine's gateway questions about whether this project is enduring and has a bigger impact more than the partners. So when answering this question, show what legacy this project will leave in terms of AI for manufacturing. Some of the differences in the DNA of this fund versus others is to show that there are benefits that go beyond the consortium. We want you to look at building the project slightly differently and maybe find partners that can help share knowledge to make Canada stronger. Some of the ways this can be done is to partner with academic institutions. We also know that many NGOs are keen to partner on these engine projects. And similar to academic institutions, we can fund them directly, but there are different financial structures that can be used to bring them as partners on your project. And definitely Jeff, during his presentation later, will be getting into more on the financial structures. But make sure that you are highlighting the workforce development aspects and the EDI opportunities as a result of this project, and show that it's leaving a legacy in Canada. Here are some other examples of how you can show that you're creating a legacy. So it could be other social benefits, or it could be an industry knowledge sharing. For example, is this project serving as a model or a learning platform or a data lake for others? Will this project generate any new IP that others can use to accelerate technology applications or scale up manufacturing in Canada? And will the project influence the activities of educational and research institutions and help in diffusion of knowledge back to the industry? Here are two more ways that you can show that your project is enduring. So infrastructure support. So what we are looking here is, will the project help to develop or support the use of tools, test beds, data, and technology platforms to foster future technology development and commercialization in Canadian manufacturing? The other thing is collaborative networks. So will the project enhance the ability of industry and post-secondary educations and other stakeholders to work together and strengthen advanced manufacturing in Canada? And will it provide greater capacity to support SMEs in Canada? Also important is to showcase any environmental benefits as a result of this project. I'm pretty sure there'll be several of these bullets that have been listed here that are applicable for you from as a manufacturer and also from an AI company perspective. Make sure you're capturing all of those and describe any other benefits that you would think, like regulatory or certification standards and policy development and so forth. So as you can see, there are a lot of ways you can show that your project is enduring. But it's important to note that we don't expect you to follow all of this. Use the ones that are applicable to you and expand on those within 900 words. But I'm sure there could be also other ways beyond the ones that we have listed here that you can show ecosystem building opportunities. The fourth question that you will be answering is, how will the results of the project be commercialized? And remember, this is not for one company, but for each one of those companies that are partners in this project. You need to have a separate commercialization plan for each partner. Uh, the question will be answered based on the type of AI solution and manufacturing capability you are building. But make sure the commercialization plan does include the type of products, services, processes, etc., that you will be commercializing, the markets where they will be commercialized, and show that you understand the market and how to compete in the market. We have provided here some key aspects that you need to consider when you're explaining your commercialization plan. Some of them is the roadmap of how we're going to reach out to your customer base, what's your competitive advantage, value proposition, and what is your sales and marketing plan going to look like. Make sure that you're connecting all of this to the intellectual property plan that you're uploading as an appendix, and make sure that as I mentioned, if you have any new intellectual property in terms of patents, then make sure you're having a patent filing plan mentioned in this application, and also see if there are any other commercial spillover opportunities that you can highlight that will contribute to the wider industry and benefits and other sectors. And at this point, I would like to pass this session on to my colleague Arthur, who will take you through the remaining 4 questions. I look forward to working with you in completing these applications and making winning proposals. Thank you.
Thanks, Roshan. My name is Arthur Kahn. I'm one of the directors of project development at NGen. Now let's move on to question 5, which asks, what is the overall project plan? So as implied in the question, this question is all about describing to us how your team intends to execute the project. There are 2 parts to this question. The first part asks you to describe what methodology your project team will use to manage the project. Please describe any project management or quality management systems used to deliver the project. This part is critical as it demonstrates to assessors that the project will be managed well and therefore help de-risk NGen investment. The second part of question 5 will require you to provide a written summary of the project plan, so including descriptions of the various work packages, key milestones, and key resource requirements. This narrative summary should align with a Gantt chart version of the project plan, which you will need to upload as a separate document as Appendix 2, as described by Roshan previously. Assessors will essentially look at your project plan and see if it's detailed enough to actually use it as a basis for running a project. Essentially, a third party should be able to pick up your project plan and clearly see the various work packages, tasks, and milestones, when they need to be completed, their dependencies, and who's responsible. Now let's go to question 6, which asks, what is the overall risk management plan? This question should align with the risk register, which you'll need to prepare as a separate document for Appendix 3. NGen recognizes that R&D projects are inherently risky in nature. So assessors want to see that projects understands the risks and level of risks involved, and will also seek assurance from applicants that there are adequate arrangements in place to manage these risks. So please clearly articulate in the body of the question how the project team intends to manage the risks as outlined in your risk register for Appendix 3. This could be, for instance, an internal process as part of your project review process, or an external framework as well. I want to note that NGen will not be providing a template for your risk register, but please make sure that the risk register embodies a comprehensive risk analysis. So we want to see a consideration of different types of risks, so such as technical, commercial, managerial, financial, and resource risks. We also want to see an analysis of the likelihood, impact, and overall rating for each risk, as well as the different mitigation strategies and assigning responsibilities for each risk. So moving on to question 7, which asks you to describe the collaboration and partner skills, experience, resources, and access to facilities to deliver the identified benefits. So the underlying motivation for this question is for you to demonstrate that the project is a meaningful collaboration between all project partners. So assessors will be looking to better understand how the consortium will be working together to achieve more as a group than if they were to work as individual entities. So again, please make sure to utilize your IP plan when describing the capabilities, skills, experiences, and IP that each partner will be bringing to the table, and how they will work together to create new capabilities and new intellectual property. So in addition to how the team will work together, please describe any management, reporting, and governance structures that will be in place to ensure a smooth delivery of the project, as well as demonstrate that the team will have access to any key facilities, resources, and infrastructure needed to successfully complete the project. Last but not least, let's go to question 8, which asks, why is NGen funding being requested, and what is the financial commitment for the project? So this is, again, a two-part question. The first part will require you to elaborate on why you need NGen funding. What is the market failure or risks that NGen funding would be helping to tackle? So please tie this response back to question 6 and your comprehensive risk analysis. The second part of question 8 will ask you to describe for each partner what the project costs are going to be used for. So this is essentially an opportunity for you to describe your financial workbooks as uploaded as for Appendix 4 in narrative form. As a reminder, our Director of Project Finance, Jeff Montag, will be sharing details of the Project Finance guidelines later on in the workshop. As part of question 8, please do explain other sources and other follow-up sources of funding that may be required to complete the project. To further enhance the case for value for money, please outline if the project has the potential to attract future private sector investment and how the project can help benefit Canada in the long term. So overall, for question 8, assessors will be looking for 3 things. Firstly, whether there's a clear case that activities are in addition to regular business undertakings. Secondly, whether or not the proposed budget is realistic and reasonable, and whether or not additional sources of funding have been acquired. And last but not least, is there value for money? So in summary, here are some final tips for answering the 8 questions. First and foremost, answer the questions by reading and following the response guidance listed underneath each question. We can't stress that enough. Secondly, please quantify your answers. Where questions ask for quantifiable estimates, such as expected economic benefits, the expected market size, and other impacts, please provide a quantifiable figure where possible. Thirdly, be succinct in your answers. Fourthly, this is a team effort. All engine projects need to be collaborative. So please make sure to plan and answer each question and prepare all documents in concert and from the perspective of all partners involved. Last but not least, get a second pair of eyes. When you have a draft, ask someone that understands how to prepare a business plan and project plans that have not been involved in the project to read your responses to the 8 questions alongside the response guidance and see if a fresh pair of eyes picks up on the same points as the project team preparing the proposal. Here's an overview of the key dates for the first intake of applications. My colleague Joanne Anderson will be going over what the different stages mean in more detail later on in the workshop. But I can stress that the first deadline to submit a project for screening is coming up fast next week on November 23rd. So please make sure to reach out to us at ai@engen.ca to go over any project ideas and applications if you haven't already done so. Once you submit your final application on or before the January 19th, 2023 deadline in the first intake, your application will head to final assessment. So each application will be assessed based on the 8 questions I just talked about by up to 5 independent assessors. We want to reassure applicants that the assessors are screened for conflict of interest and are under an NDA. Responses will be equally weighted in the assessment. Applications will be scored out of 80 marks, so that's 10 marks per question. We want to stress that only the information contained within the application will be assessed. So for example, URLs and links to websites are not permitted in the application and will not be read. The assessors will also answer 2 yes/no gateway questions. So first one being, is the project in scope for funding for this challenge? The second one, is the project recommended for funding based on the overall application? If the majority of assessors answer no to either gateway questions, the application will not be considered for funding regardless of the overall score. So it's highly, highly recommended throughout the application process that you seek advice from the NGen project development team. So all of us who just spoke over the past couple of minutes to ensure that the project that you're proposing meets the scope criteria. Please make sure to reach out to us at ai@engen.ca to go over any project ideas and applications if you haven't already done so. We absolutely do not want to waste your time and your resources. So please reach out to us and let's chat. In closing, please always refer back to the official application guides, templates, and resources on our website. And again, I can't stress this enough. Please email us at ai@engen.ca to discuss any project applications or ideas that you may have. And with that, we would like to open the floor for any questions.